Hello everybody and welcome back to the Adventures in Collecting YouTube channel, where we take a closer look at the toys we talk about on the show. And today we are jumping back into the world of Middle-earth, courtesy of our friends at Diamond Select Toys. That's right, we are taking a look at the latest additions in their Lord of the Rings deluxe action figure series with Boromir and Lurtz. So the Fellowship continues to grow from the first film there. So we do have now Aragorn, Boromir, Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, and Frodo in our Fellowship. So there's Sean Bean, looking awesome. We got the Horn of Gondor in there, lots of different weapons. I don't see any ports in his chest to to port arrows into, so we can't recreate, spoiler alert, his famous death sequence, but we do have gloved hands, shield, sword. He's got his like I said, his Horn of Gondor there, awesome stuff. And then in the other box here, we do have Lurtz. We've got his bow and arrow along with arrows, shield, alternate head, and looks like a satchel there that he's carrying. So absolutely gruesome Urukai figure there. Love it. Love a good Peter Jackson monster. And with these two together, you can recreate some of the more iconic things from the first film. So with that, let's get these two into the light box and take a closer look at Diamond Select Toys, Boromir and Lurtz. Let's go. One does not simply unbox Boromir and Lurtz here. Well, as you can see, here they are out of the box. As you just saw in the light box, tons of accessories. Fantastic likeness there on Sean Bean for Boromir. Let me give you my quick thoughts. So I'm going to start with Lurtz. First of all, I think Lurtz, in terms of sculpt, paint, detail, articulation, home run. Absolute home run of a figure. My only two, I guess you could say, pieces of feedback with Lurtz would be, boy, are his hands hard. They are really hard, and they're really hard to get the accessories in once, but once you get them in, you can really kind of hit some iconic poses with him. The accessories are also a very hard plastic, which is going to make it really difficult for you to get him into a believable bow stance. It's really, the bow does not flex, so you can kind of get him in that, what I found works really nicely is that kind of like, down, bow down, kind of at the, let me see if I can get him in there again, at the kind of waiting stance. So, something like that I think looks really sharp with him. And the other thing was his quiver satchel. If you noticed in the light box, it wasn't in any of the pictures or the poses because I couldn't figure out how to get it on him. It initially looked like something that was supposed to go over his shoulder. And in looking at kind of some photos from the film, I noticed it was hanging at his waist. I couldn't get it above his legs. I couldn't get over his shoulders, even with the head off. What I actually had to do was disconnect him at the diaphragm here. So the upper waist joint, I was able to pop off without heat. I don't recommend doing it without heat. Very sketchy. Definitely heat up the figure and then pop the waist off. But as far as I see, that's the only way you're going to get that quiver around his waist. But, all in all, awesome figure. As you can see there, he looks like he walked right off of the Weta Workshop studio. Really, really cool. Boromir. So, again, comes with some really cool accessories. We've got the Horn of Gondor. We've got, you know, his sword. He does have a hook on the back of his pants here, which the Horn of Gondor can hang from very nicely. However, he has no way of holding the scabbard of his sword or his dagger that he comes with. There's just nowhere that at least I was able to find to mount it on him. The gloved versus non-gloved hands, really cool touch. Love that. Love that he's got his fellowship cloak, and then it comes off, you know, very nicely. Would have been great if the other characters had come with that too, just so that way they can match. But he also is, you know, I would say I would love in the future for these to come with some softer plastic. Again, the hands, really, really hard to get accessories in there. Just be gentle, take your time, use a little heat if necessary. And his skirt, while it does have cuts in it, his legs are pretty much locked in there, unfortunately, which means no sitting down. I was able to get him into a kneeling pose out of the slits in the back, but you know, it would just, and there's a ton of articulation under there. You got single jointed knees, there's ankle and calf rotation, and it looks like there's even, trying to feel for it, there might be a thigh rotation up there too. But the skirt is just, it's a really, really hard plastic, and the cuts just don't go high enough on them. I may take an X-Acto knife and fix that and go up a little bit higher on the skirt. We'll see about that. But, you know, out of the box, you know, he is kind of hindered in the waist, from the waist down, in terms of articulation. But again, I think this is an awesome sculpt. An awesome delivery of Sean Bean here, you know, even with like the bangs in his face and the squinty eyes. I did absolute fantastic job in that department, and he stands really well. So, you know, you don't really have to work hard to get him to stand. He does have rocker ankles. Yeah, really, really cool job on both of those figures. Even with those little pieces of feedback aside, by no means are they deal breakers. You know, I think they're awesome, and I'm happy to have them in the collection. And I can't wait to see what's coming next for Lord of the Rings from Diamond Select. We've already seen Saruman. The figure of Saruman has been shown. We've seen the figure of Samwise Gamgee. So I'm really hoping we get Merry, Pippin. You know, I know the folks at Diamond Select have kind of said that they're looking to figure out ways to work their PVC diorama pieces into this line as well. So maybe something like a Balrog down the line, maybe a Treebeard would be great. Of course, there are tons of options, but I want to know what you want to see from Diamond Select in Lord of the Rings line. So make sure you leave us a comment below with what you want to see next. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss it when we post new videos. While you're liking and subscribing to things, make sure you follow us here at AIC_podcast on Instagram, X, and TikTok, where we're constantly posting toy reviews, news, deals, availability, anything and everything that we think would help out the community. And then, of course, the podcast. So Adventures in Collecting, you can find us wherever you find podcasts. Simply search for Adventures in Collecting or hit the link in the description below, which will take you to our website, and you can find links to all of the things that I just mentioned. Huge shouts again to our friends at Diamond Select for sending these amazing samples out for us. You can also find a link in the description where you can buy your very own Boromir and Lurtz. And also keep an eye out for them at your local comic shop. As always, let's think of one. One figure to rule them all. Until next time.